Okay, howdy everybody, welcome back. Think I'm set. Vormithrax here, Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead. A new series, a new episode, a new challenge, new run, you know, my favorite part. It's always my favorite part. I like the beginnings. The beginnings are the best part. Yeah, so we're doing a brand new one. We finished up our Perfect Pacifist run, and it's time to do Judge Fredd. We're going to be Judge Fredd. Description, of course, in the commands there. I'm staying on my current kick of kind of doing new player-friendly stuff that doesn't wildly skew the difficulty factor or change a bunch of settings that new players wouldn't really understand the advantages and disadvantages of and all that. So we did that kind of for the pacifist run. I'm going to do it again, but we're going to do it this time in a completely different setting with different goals. This time we're going to do it in a megacity. So I get a lot of questions about megacities and surviving in megacities, and I haven't done one in a while. So yeah, let's do a megacity one. So I'm going to combine this hopefully with some new player-friendly advice and demonstrations and examples, or maybe I'll die a lot. We'll see. I could die a lot. It's a completely generic world. The only thing I changed in the world setup was 16-0, 16 size, 0 spacing. That's it. Everything else is base generic, just like the character. We're not changing anything on the character. We're just going to hit tab a bunch of times. Well, not quite true. That's not quite true. I can't do the survivors evac shelter start in this one, so I switched it instead to the surrounded start. So we're going to do surrounded instead of evac UE. That way I start in the city and not off to the side of the city in an evac shelter. So we want to be buried in the city. So I figured surrounded would be a good secondary. We're not spending any of the points, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just the starting location that I care about. And that's it. So 16-0 for the world setup. And default character, except for the scenario, is surrounded. And I'm just tabbing through everything else. We're not going to pick any stats, no traits, no skills, no nothing. We're just going to start out generically even. That will add a little bit of difficulty factor for me to enjoy and to challenge myself around. But not throw any crazy curves in with complicated builds and layered abilities that stack bonuses upon each other and all that other stuff. So we're going to do one more of this type. We'll do Judge Fredd in this mode, and then I think for the next challenge, I'll return to my, super crazy hard mode, ridiculous difficulty, crazy build type of stuff. So look forward to that if that's what you're looking for. But for this one, we should still be able to have some fun, some entertainment, run around in a mega city, seeing if we can stay alive and thrive. So my general goals, as indicated in the description, for Judge Fredd here is that we have to stay alive, of course. That's always the goal. Secondarily, our endpoint goal is to get fully outfitted as much as we reasonably can as Judge Fredd. Find all the appropriate gear and weaponry that we think would be appropriate for a person of his station. And also assemble our trusty steed, the Megacity motorcycle. So I haven't done that in a while either. If newer players are just watching the newer series and not diving back into the vast archives of Vormithrax Cataclysm content, they probably haven't seen me do putting a vehicle together in quite a while. I mod my Humvees and that all the time, but let's do the Megacity motorcycle. So I haven't done it in quite a while. And yeah, so we'll show how to kind of secure an area and set up a base and put the motorcycle together. If I get to a point where I've got the Megacity motorcycle and I feel I've gotten all the gear, we'll find some fun way of getting rid of the character and we'll move on from there. So it's somewhat open-ended. I'm not going to a particular location or anything like that. So we'll see how long it takes me, though, given what we need to do. So hopefully I can duck around that whole proficiency system yet again and just subsist on found items while I do my things and survive and put my motorcycle together. So that's kind of the general plan. Now, there is a caveat. When I enter the game world, I've had some pretty weird results with 16-0 settings for city sizes. In the past, most of my mega cities I actually do 16-2. And I also normally, for Megacities challenges, I reveal the map. I'm not going to reveal the map this time because, like I said, I want to keep it more of a new player-friendly experience, things they would see and experience and understand that I can talk about. So we won't do that special exception stuff. We'll just explore the city as we can and as we need to. What else? I think that's about it. So we're not going to spend too much time here, so there's nothing really to show on the character other than his name. Judge Fredd had a psychotic break due to the mental stress of the Cataclysm, and he's now basically thinks that he is his favorite comic book character, totally unrelated to any actual comic book properties in the game or in the real world. You know, has nothing to do with nothing. This is just Judge Fredd, so we'll jump in and we'll see what happens. We may die a lot, so as always, I preface this by, hey, it is a mega city. There's going to be a lot of zombies. I didn't mess with the zombie spawn rates or anything, so it's all fairly generic and basic. But the only thing I'm a little worried about is I'm not playing with wander spawns, and for real challenge, you want wander spawns on if you're doing a mega city run. If you have gotten good... If you've completed the get goods part of learning Cataclysm, play a mega city run where you have to stay in the city and do a base and have wander spawns on, or wandering hordes as it's called now. We're not going to do that for this one though. So more new player friendly-ish. I'm sure we're going to get into plenty of scrapes and interesting situations though. So let's jump right in right after I check chat here. I see people chatting and spamming the challenge command here. Somebody asked about Amigo Camp. Yeah, been there, done that. Didn't enjoy it. I don't think it's changed all that much since I did it, but I linked the playlist for it if you want to go see it. Put all the points into social. Yeah, Judge Dredd. He's known for his high social skills. It's not really that the city never ends, and like I was saying, you're gonna... The map generation is a little wonky sometimes, so I might restart with a different map, depending on what we get. If it plants me right on the edge of a lake or something like that, I'm probably going to tell it to, we'll quit out and we'll start a new map. But in the past, I've tried 16.0, and I revealed the maps and looked at them, and I really didn't like the way they were generating. I usually use 16.2. We're going to go ahead and 16.0 this one, because that seems to be what everybody automatically tries to do when new players try to do a mega city. They instantly go 16.0. So to kind of model that and give them what they might be experiencing, we're going to keep it that way. Okay. Hey, there's Sporo the Best. Welcome from America. Hope you're doing well over there in Italy. What would you say was your most enjoyable run this year? I can't answer those kinds of questions. People ask me that kind of stuff all the time. Like, what's your favorite challenge and what did you do recently that's the best? I can't answer it. I play so much Cataclysm and I have to move on and on and on, and I can't retain it. I can't keep it in my brain. After you've played a few thousand hours of Cataclysm and you have been doing it for years now, I honestly... I just move on and keep on moving on. I don't know. I've had some fun with different things. It's usually the little things that tickle me the most. I really thrive on the emergent gameplay situations and opportunities where if you hear me say, that usually means that Vorm is being entertained. Something has happened that has caused my brain to heat up a little bit. And I may be about to die. So I like that kind of stuff. And it mostly happens in the early to mid game. So, yeah, it's just little snippets here and there. I tend not to remember whole challenges all that much. Especially, I just don't. I can't answer that. It's better for the audience to answer that kind of stuff than it is for me. Alright, I think we're caught up. Yeah, we're all caught up. So we've got our character, no stats, no skills, no traits. Let's jump right in, see what kind of world it gives us. I am sure, yes, I am double extra, totally sure. Okay, we got a house with a basement, good start. We got big windows though, that's not good. And we do have it set for surrounded. Just how big a deal that is in a mega city start, I don't know. Wow, that's a lot of residents. Alright, so step one, sprint to the LMOE shelter that showed up in our megacity map. In between two megacities, apparently. Oh, man. I'm gonna have to think about that, because that's oh man, that is such an opportunity. I really should not set up in the LMOE shelter. Just because not many people are going to get that opportunity when doing a Mega City run. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. We'll probably visit it for potential gear and stuff, but man, I really don't want to set up an LMOE shelter. I'd rather show how to survive in the Mega City, not taking advantage of that kind of an opportunity. Challenge 1. I do not disagree. The LMOE shelter is just about an I win condition for the early part of the game. It's just too good for an early place to dive into. I could make that run pretty easily, pending, you know, some really odd circumstances. Now, notice I have not, as well, I have not turned off any of the special stuff, so we could have Triffids, we could have Fungal, we could have Acid Ants, we can have all sorts of stuff going on in the city here. I didn't mod or change anything in there, so we could have all that stuff. Depending on my challenge and the theme that I set, I occasionally turn that kind of stuff off. It just depends on what I'm going for in the challenge, for the Mega Cities especially. I do occasionally have special rules or setups for these kinds of runs. And I very much encourage for all the folks that are new to the game, you are not beholden to any specific thing. Do not feel pressure or feel that you should play it in any particular way. Go crazy. Play however you want. You want free form, build a super character, do it. You want to do a terrible character, do it. You want to debug menu your stuff, all sorts of starting traits and gear and so on. Go crazy. Have fun. Do it. I get really annoyed when people get all holier than thou and you should do it this way, you should do it that way. It's cheating if you do that. That's OP. This is OP. That's all bullcrap. It's a massively modifiable game, configurable any way you want. If you're having fun with it, that's the important thing. Just understand the changes you're making. That's the only thing I do. I try to emphasize. I'm here to educate, not advocate. I'm not going to pressure you to play the game any particular way. I'm not going to report you to the Cataclysm Olympic Committee for breaking the rules or doping your Cataclysm play. So just have fun with it. Understand what the consequences are. Understand the mechanics involved and so on. But otherwise, have fun. So, in that vein, I sometimes do themes or challenges where I set up special situations. I use the debug menu heavily to get things the way I need them to be, so I can kind of tell the story I want to tell and play the story I want to play. That's where, once you get past the initial what do and how do I survive the first couple of weeks of gameplay, when you can do that reliably and you're starting to look for things to make things difficult, look into that kind of thing. The game is just so massively configurable. You can come up with all sorts of really cool ways to play the game, set up your own end goals, your own themes, your own challenges. If you want any kind of tips or hints or whatever, feel free to check out the first minute or two of each of my challenge series, or just read the descriptions. I post all the info in the descriptions for the settings I use, the world settings, the characters challenge, and so on. You can repeat mine, you can modify it however you want, all that kind of stuff. But just realize you can do whatever you want, and you'll need to. After a while, when you know the basics and you can reliably survive, you'll want to start getting your own goals in mind. All right, that's enough of me pontificating and espousing, my philosophy of gameplay. So what are we going to do? Here's a character. There we go. That's Judge Fredd, recently a victim of a psychotic break. Cataclysm stress has basically caused him to believe he is the law. He is Judge Fredd. So now we have to turn ourselves from everyday everyman with no real advantages or disadvantages into his vision of his favorite comic book character. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to achieve that? So step one is always, no matter what you do, step one is always survive. Once we've gotten to the we're alive part in a few days, and we've got food and water and a safe place to sleep and all that, then we can turn our eyes and our attention to how do we advance our goal. So nothing really to look at here. 8888, no skills of any kind, no bionics, no mutations, no traits, no nothing. So we're standard. there's our gear, just basic survivor starting gear. It's actually a pretty good set. It's new players probably don't realize just how many cool, useful things this start is. This is like a powerful start for advanced players who are looking for challenges and play the odd stuff. I mean, we got cell phones, we got fire making ability, we got our knife so we can butcher and cut and so on. We got a bottle of water. We got our messenger bag, so we've got some carry capacity already established. It's really good. There's a lot of really good things here. A lot of powerful things. Now, it doesn't look so impressive when you're running through houses and there's all this stuff laying around nowadays. But man, it used to be that was a pretty rich start. You've been avoiding playing until they get proficiency sorted. Why? 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 Play. Ignore the proficiencies. Who cares? Ignore them. You don't need to craft things. You don't need to craft clothing and such. You go find it in the game world. Just avoid it. And you can debug them if you're not aware. So, player... Oh, which one was it? Edit player... And then... I forget. There's a proficiency... Yeah, there it is. Edit proficiencies. Right there. Give yourself all the proficiencies. Or do like me and just ignore it. I really don't care. That's one thing everybody asks me. Well, I mean, I'm constantly asked... not really asked, but people downplay experimental branch, and I live stream Cataclysm. I've been live streaming Cataclysm between, what, 12 to 24 hours a week for 3 years now, and nonstop, no big breaks in there, and I have never once not played experimental, and I've never once lost a run because of an experimental update. The absolute worst thing that I think ever happened that I had to deal with was the Drunk Master Mutant run way back, where my map got corrupted when we had a crash during a save, and I had to basically drive a long way away to get out of that map chunk, and then everything was okay again. Other than that, I just kind of shrug, and at the worst, I'll wait a day or two to update if there's some really, really extreme problem happening. But as long as you know how to back up your save folder and either use the launcher or manually go download a previous version, there's absolutely no reason not to play experimental. And not to avoid the updates. I mean, they need feedback and they need people to use it so they can make it better. If it's really annoying you, you can usually ignore it. It's not like there's not a million ways around most things in the game that might be problems. Barring anything else, debug your way around it. Learn to love the debug menu. And as part of the conversation I had earlier about play it however you want, if something's obviously broke and it's been confirmed broke and it's not working for you, then just debug your way around it. Summon the item that it won't let you craft, or teleport yourself out of the broken spot, or whatever. And then just keep playing. Keep having fun. Alright, so gear. We're good. We got our basics. We need more. I need a hiking backpack, leather backpack. That would be my preference. We're going to sweep stuff up, but here, let's talk about long term. So I'm going to try to stay in the city as much as possible. I would like to move closer to a residential industrial, or not residential, move closer to an industrial commercial area. Residential is the easiest place to survive. So for newer players, if you're choosing a start location, which you can do on the last page of the character select screen, just press the / key. You can choose a starting location from a set that are based on the scenario. Generally, if the houses one is the one that's the safest to choose. They're the easiest things to move through, to lose enemies in, to maneuver around and through. You got drain pipes, you got multiple doors and windows all over the sides of the buildings. You can go up on the roof, down into basements. It's just way, way easier to maneuver and stay alive in the residential area. If you put yourself in a commercial building downtown, your movement options are much, much more constrained. Many of the buildings don't have back doors. You got one way in and out, so if you go in and a horde of zombies follows you in, you're going to have to get through them to get back out again, which is super dangerous. It just really, really curtails your ability to move. There's not nearly as many drain pipes you can go up and down, all that kind of stuff. Not nearly as many basements. It's just really much more dangerous in the commercial industrial area. So try to stick to the residential zones until you've established yourself and such. Ideally, you want to find a basement. Basement's the best place to set up. It's going to give you the most protection. Some buildings have multiple stories going upward, and upper floors are also good. You basically just want to get off the ground floor. That's where 99% of the zombies are, and then the action is. Zombies don't typically go up and down very often. They're a little sporadic and a little weird about going up and down stairs. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, sometimes they do it when you don't want, sometimes they absolutely refuse to do it when you try to entice them to do it, and it's just weird. So I don't have any real serious good rules because it's just so inconsistent in how they behave. But definitely vertical is good. So especially apartment towers, things like that. I mostly put any of the apartment towers on my no-no list personally, just because they trivialized the content for me, and it was way too easy for me to take advantage of it. So that's why you haven't seen me anytime in a long, long time use multiple upward floors, not pavilions. Apartment tower, right there. So I don't use upper floors of apartment towers in the past, just because. There's certain things that I put on my personal no-no list, just because it makes it too easy. But definitely take advantage of it if you're a newer player. Make your own rules is basically what I'm saying. But if you go vertical, you'll save yourself a whole lot of hassle. So, yeah. Let me check in with chat again here. Hello, everybody new that's now piling in. Spandex stitching proficiency. No crafting runs are fun. Done those. Those are good. Is there a way to remove the weariness? What's everybody's problem with this stuff, man? Just use it. Learn to love it. It's good. It's going to get put into the stable game eventually. It's not like you guys complaining about it is going to make it go away. They want it. It's in. It's not going to go away. You're not going to get a different link to the launcher. Your antivirus is always going to flag it no matter where you get it from. You just need to tell your antivirus to shut the hell up and then whitelist the folder that you install the launcher to. Well, basically, learn to use your Windows protection, Windows Defender, Windows Security, Norton Antivirus, whatever you're using. You got to tell it to ignore that event and then whitelist the folder that the launcher installs into. It does not have a virus. It does not have a Trojan. We go through this every damn time the launcher updates or antivirus updates. I've talked about it a billion times over the last year or two. So, what else? Are Z levels still a little wonky? I don't know. What's wonky about them? Z levels are Z levels. Do they slow the game down? Hell yes, they slow the game down. Did they magically fix having to process 200% more pieces of data per reality bubble? No, they did not magically fix that. It still slows the game down tremendously and is mildly annoying in the wrong locations, like labs and research facilities and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what you mean by wonky. If you just mean slow down, that's still in game. If there's other wonkiness, I don't know what you're talking about. You weren't specific enough. Why don't I like crafting? I like crafting just fine. I just know too many other ways to get things, and it's not really something I absolutely have to do generally. Yeah, Fenris, it's the launcher's fine. It's perfectly fine. You just got to tame your protection. Usually it's most people nowadays don't even use third-party antivirus. Windows Defender and Windows Security works perfectly fine. You're not having any problems. I don't know anybody that knows a lot about those things that still use them. They're just not really necessary as far as I know anymore. But yeah, if you do, I have no way of telling you how you need to fix it. But in Windows Security, it's not directly through Windows Defender, I don't think. You have to go to Windows Security, set up an exclusion for the folder that the launcher installs into, and then it won't bother you ever again. Wonky as in zombies up, down, Z levels outside of stairs? Nah, they got that fixed a long time ago. Started playing the game yesterday. You have my sympathies. I apologize profusely for in any way involving your decision to continue playing Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. Oh, man. Oh, we have another victim. It is a handful. It is a handful. It is very much worth it, though. So you're in the right place, because I'm intending this challenge to be new player friendly. I'll talk a little more about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I say this many times during my live streams. If you are a new player, a medium player, an old player, whoever, if you have a question, if you're curious about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, or how I'm doing it, make sure to ask in chat. I will, I try to catch all the chats, and I have to back up on occasion to read through them, but I very much do a whole bunch of helping new players content for my my YouTube channel and here on the live streams, so I'm always happy to answer questions, take a break from the action to explain what's going on, what my thoughts are, my strategies. Realize that a lot of what I do makes it look really, really easy, so if you are a new player and you're watching any of my stuff before you actually play yourself, you're going to be in for a really rude awakening when you compare what I'm doing to what you're doing. I've got multiple thousands of hours in the game. I've forgotten most things, or more things than most people will know about the game. But I've just got so much of it as just muscle memory and inherent knowledge nowadays that I tend to take advantage of things in the game, and I don't often point them out or explain them. I try to stop every once in a while and remind myself, oh, people might want to know why I'm able to do this, or how it looks so easy when I'm dancing around zombies and so on. And I'll try to do that. But if you're at all curious what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, all that stuff, make sure you ask in chat. Either one of the other Cataclysm experts here will answer the question, or if I get an opportunity to, I will as well. Yeah, Microsoft Essentials, or Microsoft Security and Windows Defender is really, really good. I haven't bothered with external antivirus, third-party antivirus in, I don't know, quite a long time, actually. I can't remember the last time I used them. Nowadays, I just think they're totally irrelevant. Things have changed enough. You don't really need it unless you're doing some weird stuff. Vorm especially likes to talk about farming in CDD. I do. I'm an expert. I'm totally an expert on farming. I tell you everything you will ever need to know about farming in Cataclysm. Are you ready? You don't need to do it. Don't bother. There you go. Everything you need to know about farming in Cataclysm. All right, let's get the action going. So we haven't done anything yet. Like I said, gear and that. Oh yeah, I was talking about our strategy here. So while I would love to run over and live in the LMOE shelter, that stands for Last Man on Earth, LMOE. It's a bunker. It's a shelter for an apocalypse prepper, and it's a great location. I strongly recommend any of the new players run straight for it if they get the opportunity or they see one. In my graphic set and the default map, it's this little red plus symbol up here. We'll go ahead and point to it right there. LMOE shelter, Last Man on Earth. And it's underground. You got a big metal door at the front. You go in, you go down some stairs, and you got a big bunker that you get to use. Got all the basic accoutrements. Usually it's got food, tools, gear, and so on. And it's almost 100% guaranteed safe forever. Nothing. I have never, ever, ever, ever had anything show up in an LMOE bunker. As long as I didn't open the door. If you leave the top door closed, you're never ever going to have something wander in there. Not once have I ever seen it. Somebody will chime in on YouTube. Oh, it happens to me all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's bullcrap. Not going to happen. Not likely in your lifetime. So yeah, it's a great place, but I'm not going to try to do that. My intent is to try to stay in the megacity. The way the cities are built, we have these big residential areas, and then usually there's going to be a cluster of commercial industrial, and I want to get closer to that, but I have to survive the initial onslaught here. The scenario is surrounded, so we got extra zombies in the area. I'm going to need to push away from this building, and as soon as I step outside, all the zombies are going to see me, and it's going to be a constant foot race. It's just going to be a non-stop foot race. So my likelihood of dying is fairly high. Nobody can guarantee they can always survive in like a mega city start. There's just so many zombies, and it's highly dependent on some random factors that knowledge and experience is just not going to overcome. But there are things I can do to minimize the danger. For example, I could just run down the stairs and hide in the basement until dark. Perfectly valid strategy, assuming nothing sees me and follows me down the stairs, and there's nothing already down the stairs that's going to eat me. So that is an option. You'll get hungry while you're down there, but you're not going to die or anything from being hungry for a while. Nighttime is much easier for the player to move around without being molested, but there's a big but there. You got to kind of know what you're doing. Night raiding is a big thing. Day raiding, night raiding is a whole... Oh man, I've had that conversation so many times. So many experts want to weigh in and chime in on that subject. But it is something that if you know what you're doing, it's extremely effective and not all that dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing as much, then you can get yourself in trouble pretty quick. So it's kind of an advanced thing. Feel free to try it out, new players, but you really need to understand quite a bit about the game, the mechanics, the movement systems, the detection systems, the stamina systems to really take advantage of it. Oh, hey, we got, what, leg guards? Sort category. All right, coffee maker, hard arm guards. So, unlike the last episode or the last series, I'm not constrained in not being able to kill anything. Now we can actually kill stuff. We're going to go ahead and put on the hard arm guards. We did not get an atomic coffee maker. I don't care about any of this stuff. I'm going to be moving through menus and screens on inventory pretty damn quick, so I just know the names of everything and what I'm looking for and where it's at and so on. We'll definitely take the flashlight with a really good battery. Take the screwdriver, the candle. Yeah, we'll take the lighter. I'm not going to worry about food right now. We'll have plenty of time to gather up all the food we need. And string is not going to be an issue here in the cities, so I don't care about picking up that random stuff either. What you pick up, when you pick it up, is very important. It's part of that inherited knowledge set that I have, where I just know where everything's at. I know what everything's made of. I know where I can get all the things. So it's a little easier for me when I look at a map. I can instantly look around and see what's where, what I need to go to get, and so on. Well, that is a library. That's going to be a high target eventually. Nothing else near it at the moment. Alright. A lot of things are going to change as we start moving around here, so it's going to get more exciting here as soon as I step out of the darkness. So while I'm in this shady area here, the zombies can't see me, by the way. So as long as I stay in the shady zone where it's in the top right corner, it says either dark or very dark. Cloudy, bright. It gets a little wonky when you got variable lighting conditions. But for the most part, even if something was out here, it wouldn't be able to see me. So you got to take advantage of that kind of stuff as well. Alright, let's move. Music machine. A music machine. Sure, why not? I'm not going to use it right now because I want to be able to hear enemies nearby. Oh, we got lucky. We got a fence line to our east that's blocking the view. Unfortunately, I don't think even crouch is going to... Oh, it will. The bench is letting me crouch. Oops. Oh, crap. Oh, another fence. So this is actually really lucky. We had a fence that's blocking the line of sight. So even if there are enemies out here, they can't see me because the fence is blocking. That's pretty lucky. I thought we were going to get spotted trying to get down the stairs here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, which specialized basement did we get? This is... Oh, I know this one. Isn't this the... Is this the grow lab? I think this is the marijuana grow basement. And it's occupied. We're not going to go into the main portion over here where all the plants are growing. Yeah, here they come. They already heard me. I don't need any of that stuff. Oops, they've already managed to get out. Alright, so we're not going to go that way either. We're going to get ahead of them. Turn off our flashlight. Okay, back this direction again. What do we got? Baker's Companion, Trap and Field, Archery. Don't care. While you got limited carry space, you got to be pretty cautious about what you're picking up and taking around with you. I'm going to be pretty particular. Anything... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Backpack. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I forgot to give you the most important tip for Cataclysm play. It's a super easy game. You just ask for something, and the game gives it to you. It's amazing. Just amazing. Do-do-do-do-do. Hoodies, kilts, compression, boxer shorts. I don't want any of that. Do-do-do-do. Back through chat here. Looks like a whole bunch of people were chatting while I was doing my thing. How far back do I gotta go? No graphical overmap. I dislike the graphical overmap. I dislike it. Can't stand it. So, oh well. Do. Every single LMOE shelter has a secret area that you can get into that usually has weapons. One of them has weapons and tools and other stuff. One's a bit bigger, a lot bigger than the other ones, but they all have a wall you can walk into that'll disappear, or a bookshelf you can slide aside that will get you into a special area. Would farming be a good idea if you have the high metabolism mutations? Nah, it just takes too long. It's the challenge world. It's a mega city setup, but you'll never ever have a map that is literally just one big city. It will always have some kind of breaks in it with some spacing and such. So it's impossible to get just literally a solid city with no fields or anything in between. I've previously not liked 16.0. I've previously usually gravitated to 16.2. The cities just seem to build better at 16.2 instead of 16.0. But for this one, we're going to go 16.0 because that's what all the players who are trying this for the first time usually set it as when they're trying to simulate it. The farming being useful is more a lifestyle choice than a necessity, so if people want to play Cataclysm Farming Simulator 2020, let them. But it's not necessary strictly for survival purposes, but it depends a lot on how you intend to play. So if you're going to play static base, stay in the same location for long periods of time and not really travel, then maybe you eventually need the farm going. Just depends. Not everybody plays the game the same way, so many answers that I have to give to people who ask me questions is, it depends. I have to ask you 15 follow-up questions before I can answer your innocuous seeming question, because there are so many variables, so many different circumstances and character builds and strategies and world settings, and the answer I give is going to depend on knowing so many other things than just your one short question that you asked me. So lots and lots of people get that get that answer from me. I don't know, because it really depends on too many things you haven't told me yet. So small house, bedroom, bath. I think that's the front door. We got the sidewalk there, so there's definitely no room there. I think that's the entire place. I don't think we have anything else. I'm going to go out the backside here. That puts me in the fenced-in area. So we got to pick a direction. What direction should we go? We can't use this basement because it's occupied, and we have a surrounded start, so there's going to be an extra supply of zombies in the area. So we need to get out of the area. Let's go... I think I'm just going to try to go south. We'll just try to go straight south, and we'll kind of see what happens. Hey, look, a campsite in the forest in the middle of the megacity. So we'll see what happens. I don't want anything else from the kitchen. Bedroom. We got our backpack, so we've upped our carry capacity fairly substantially. I can be a little more free about grabbing things. Early part of the game, especially in this kind of circumstance, it's all about evasion. It's all about avoidance. Do not get into fights you don't have to, because it's a long... it's basically a marathon of running, stopping and resting, running, stopping and resting, running, stopping and resting at every chance you get. And the stopping and resting part is where you're going to get in trouble, because as you drop your stamina, it takes a long time to recover stamina. This bar right here is the player killer. So this bar probably is responsible directly for... I'd say 80 to 90% of player deaths is because of this bar. So, totally, an estimate on my part. But I believe firmly that this bar is what kills players. So if you have a full bar, you shouldn't be getting killed by anything. Short of like a 50 caliber bullet through your face. But this is usually why people are dying. Know what it is, know how it works, know how to not expend it, and you'll stay alive one hell of a lot longer than otherwise. Alright, so like I said, in the megacity though, it's constantly scurrying from place to place, minimizing your exposure to the zombies. It's daylight, so they can see me from a long way away, and they'll all come to try to eat my juicy, juicy brains. So we gotta try to keep our exposure to a minimum. We gotta find ways of breaking contact and getting opportunities to rest, because we are going to be forced to run on occasion, which will drain our stamina. And if it turns into our stamina drains, we meet a new zombie, our stamina drains, we meet new zombies, our stamina drains, we're going to die. So it's as simple as that. So let's go ahead and go out this way. The zombies did not come up the stairs. And I think I'm just going to go over this fence to the south here, directly towards this other house. Oops. We got sound indications in the other room. Uh-oh, he's trying to come through the fence, so he heard me as well. Alright, let's go over this side instead. I'm going to center myself on the block, because the house is, generally speaking, going to be centered. So I want to move up to the center, then hop the fence. That way the building is going to have the best chances of blocking the view out to the street over here. So I'm going to move north a little further. Alright, there's the zombie coming through the fence. We'll hop the fence. And another fence! Well, that's kind of lucky. Huh. So, we got zombies to the north. The exclamation point indicates they can see me. So all the way up... Whoa! All the way up there. How far is that? Man, that's like the max view range just about. That's a long way up there. I guess it's not as far as I thought. That's only 36. So yeah, it could go further. So they can see up to usually, what? 50? High 40s, 50 in daylight? Something like that. It depends on the zombie. Alright, we're going over the fence again. And we're face first into another zombie. No, not into the rose bush. That zombie at least is a brainless zombie. He's one of the less dangerous ones. And more zombies in the house. Now it's getting a little tricky. Standard zombie and a tough zombie. Both can see me. They're going to come right at me. I can come south towards this corner, and there's a fence here. I can open a gate I can open and go out. That is usually locked, and I can't get in there without bashing it. So planning your route's very important. You want to avoid streets if you can. That's why I was hoping to just kind of work my way back and forth, and then dash across the street, then work my way like down this way, then dash across the street. Streets put you out in the open, so you want to look for things like this, where you can go from house to house to house to house without putting yourself out in the open. That's a clothesline, I believe. Yeah, that's a rotary clothes dryer line. So, it's just a post with some bars that you can hang clothes from to dry. Air dry the clothes. Okay, let's go. I'm not going to go in the house. That's going to be a little too hard to dodge around those guys. We'll go south. Going to go through the gate. Alright, now when I get step here, unless I crouch, whatever's out here might be able to see me through the diagonal here. We've got a car, and we've got a security van, so let's check them remotely, see if they might be drivable. Alright, cursor, why did you suddenly shift way the hell up north? Has no wheels, so we can't drive that, guaranteed. And has no wheels, so neither of those are going to be drivable, so we're not even going to bother checking them further. Another brainless zombie. It's not particularly dangerous. The good news about the vehicles is they provide cover so that I can dive into them, around them, use them for cover. I'm actually going to try to get into this house to the south, though. I just want to peel around this brick and go through this fence here. Oh, that's not a gate. Alright, I do not have a way of prying the window open. We're going to have to smash it. Let's wield our flashlight. And zombies in there too. So many zombies. Another one with basement. Dang it. These are good opportunities we're having to pass up because they're just too infested. We got 3 zombies and a zombie dog. This is the one that I worry the most about. Zombie dogs and runners. Those are your nightmares in the early game. So if you're not playing with an advanced time start or high evolution or anything like that, the fast stuff is what you want to avoid and fear. Zombie dogs are fast, runners are fast. Those are the ones you have to mostly worry about. So now we've got additional problems. I think I might go back this direction, pop into what's probably a bedroom right here, work my way this direction, because you have to learn to anticipate zombie behavior and movement. Everything in this room is going to come to where they see me. When I move out of sight, they're going to come to the point they last saw me. Then they're going to start following my scent trail if they can't see me anymore. So all of these guys are going to pull straight north. So I'm going to go across, and then I'm going to come down, and I might be able to actually grab a few things while they kind of loop around and try to follow me. Now, I'm hoping nothing shows up over here, of course. And it might, and I'll be in trouble if I get stuck in this little narrow way here with stuff behind me and in front of me. That'll be game over pretty quick. But that's the direction I'm actually going to go. So it is a bedroom like I thought. What do we got? Chess sets? Chess sets, checkers sets. Fort, please. And the lowest level paramedics book. Harmonica with a holder. Normally I'd pick that up, but we're going to find lots of them. I'm not going to worry about it for now. Cargo pants fitted? Sure. And I've already got a phone. One of these is a closet. One of these is maybe a bathroom. Yep, the bathroom. Alright, we're going that way. Next tip, bathtubs can hold items, and you can't see the items unless you're directly adjacent. So right now, I could see items in these 2 spaces. There could be medical gear in these other spaces that I can't see quite yet. We're going to go down and grab some, what is that, tramadol? Oh, antiseptic is great. Hydrogen peroxide we'll take, and oh, it's Thorazine. Dang it. I was hoping for a painkiller. That's no painkiller. Normally I'd demonstrate the bathtub thing, but time is important right now. And I need to get doors between me and the things following me. So, basically, I've broken contact with everything that was over here. I could probably check this room, come across, and there might still be some things up here in the north end of the room. Not guaranteed they all followed me all the way around. But chances are high that they're all way up here, and I could come and check the kitchen area. This is a pantry. I was hoping to check the basement, but we basically need to clear the area. There's the surrounded start put too many zombies in this area that I started in. So we're going to need to keep just traveling and grabbing opportunity things until we get a little further away. So, what do we got? Golf shoes and a phone book I'm not interested in. Don't care about any of that. Thermoelectric socks, fingerless gloves that are poor fit. None of that's critical. So, I have a choice now, either out the window or into the kitchen area. I would like to go out the window, hop the fence to get into this house, which basically puts me almost back to where I started, but then start going south from there. I'm trying to maintain this narrow alleyway and keep my view, the view of zombies in general, as little as possible. Would love to check the kitchen to see if I can get just a couple of the other utility items, but we're going to be going through so many houses, it's not really necessary, I don't think. So knowing what not to pick up is pretty important too. It helps because I know where everything's at and the likelihoods I'm going to find various things. So I know I'm not in a hurry to find food or water or anything like that. There's tons and tons of it in the houses. So I can do that later. I just want certain minor utility items right now. We got the main thing I was hoping for really quick. We got the backpack. So now I guaranteed have space for any really important things that show up that I know are rarer or more critical. That's what we're going to be doing. Mention how powerful peeking is. I'll do it as soon as you, or I'll explain it as soon as you see me do it. which may or may not happen. Peeking is important, but I will do it at some point. Man, more talking. You guys are yakking up a storm over there. Saw that. Found the perfectly fine luxury RV. Yeah, you were in the campsite. The campsite has a pretty high chance of having a pristine condition luxury RV, and on rare occasions, by careful movement, you can get it out of there. It depends on how the map builds around it and where the trees are located. But many times you have to chop at least one tree down or knock a few bushes down. It is possible to get it out of there. You just gotta work at it. Stamina and pain are the worst. Yep, stamina is the big thing. Pain affects stamina, and other things. Don't try to beat zombies with a 60-liter tank either. Do as I say, not as you see me do. Very much falls into that category. Grappling hook. Yeah, I've seen conversations about the grappling hook recently, and I have limited. I've used it once or twice. They're pretty rare to get a hold of, and I used it in the appropriate way and still fell, and haven't seen one since, and haven't cared since. So, yeah. You can jump across one-tile gaps between roofs, if you are not over-encumbered or overweight. It'll sometimes tell you, nope, you can't do that, and that's usually because you've got too much crap. Same thing with dropping off of roofs. I see a lot of people totally incorrectly tell new players that they can drop off of the edges of roofs if they just examine it and say drop down, and they don't ever take damage. That's wrong. It's totally wrong. It's very, very wrong. That's all controlled by a complex formula that takes into account your dex, whether you have the parkour trait, your dodge skill, your encumbrance, and I don't know, 4 or 5 other factors. So there's a complicated formula involved, and when you drop off the edge of a roof, it rolls dice, and you take your chances. So it's not true that you can always, 100% of the time, drop off of a roof without taking damage. Be aware of the circumstances and what you're doing. Sometimes, if you're over-encumbered and you're worried about it, you can drop your backpack over the edge of the roof first, then climb down. That lessens the chance that you're going to fall on your head and do yourself damage. But it's kind of hard to gauge. You just kind of got to do it sometimes with different conditions and get a feel for it. But do not listen to people that tell you you can always do it safely. They're totally wrong. How do you refit a piece of clothing? You can use anything you want. It requires no special tool. Even a bone needle will refit clothing. The important thing is the clothing has to be maximum durability. It has to be fully repaired first, and then you can just then you can just tell it to work on that piece of clothing, and the first action it'll perform is refitting it. It's kind of a hidden step in between fully repaired and reinforcing. It'll always refit in between those two. But you can use any tool. I also see a lot of people say, oh, you need a sewing kit, you need a tailoring kit. That's also totally wrong. Anything will work. You can't modify clothes without a tailoring kit. For that, you need a tailoring kit. If you're trying to add Kevlar or things like that. But for refitting, anything will work. It's not possible to scout across Z levels with X. It is, well, sort of. That's a complicated question. If you go to options and you go to debug, there's this thing here, experimental 3D field of vision. I don't use it. I've never used it in a live stream. I never plan on using it in a live stream unless they ever get it out of the debug menu and take off the experimental tag, which I don't think will happen. But it allows you to stand on a roof and look at the Z level below you, for example, so you could see the zombies on the ground below you. It also lets you kill those zombies with 0 danger to yourself because you can just hold the tab key down while standing on the edge of the roof, and any zombies that come into range below you will be able to get hit, but can never hit you back. So it's broken as hell, but it also supposedly causes some bugs and lag because it has to simulate so much other stuff. I don't recommend you use it, but a lot of people comment about it and ask about it. That's where it is, and whatever. If you want to use it, feel free. But not me, thanks. Other than that, there's no way directly to see across Z levels short of the peek command, which is basically peeking up and down stairs. Oh yeah, jeez. So many comments. Got all that. Got all that. Do. I'm not sure on Judge Fredd's target outfit. Would it be motorcycle gear? Would it be the motorcycle armor and stuff? Or do I have to track down from the found gear? It's going to be a little hard to track down some of the stuff I think would fit. So we'll see what we... Like I said, it's early days. First, let's stay alive. Then we'll start to get specific. It's too early to start picking and choosing that kind of stuff. Melee does not work when you do the 3D field of vision thing, since... Oh, against you. Yes, correct. I've never seen a zombie hunter do that, but they're I mean, I guess. Alright, I think I'm caught up. Let's keep moving. So far, no problems. We're able to maneuver. I think I will go try to duck over here. Oh, what do we see? We got spotted. Bad zombie and a zombie. And they cannot see me yet, so we'll go ahead and step over. That one in the building can see me. Look at that nice coat. Ooh. Ooh, leather trench coat. That sounds Judge Freddy. It's unfitted. We'd have to refit it once we get some tailoring skill. Let's go ahead and step out one more space. So, remember what I talked about? All the zombies are gone. Well, where did they go? Well, they followed me out the window. Like good little zombies. One zombie I can dance around without too much difficulty. It's if any others show up where we get into trouble. Let's go... It's also going to expose me to any other zombies out here as I go across this window if I don't crouch and close it first, which I don't have time to do. We'll go ahead and go in. Let the zombie come at me.